In 2016, a clean 6th generation Honda Civic C was a $15,500 car, a used commuter with a good engine. Today, the average clean example is worth $33,400. It more than doubled while everybody was looking somewhere else. Nobody thought a Civic C was a collector car. That is exactly why it was cheap. Because that make people money and never the cause everybody already agrees are valuable. They are the ones sitting in a driveway right now with a for sale sign in the window. So this is not a hype list. Every car in this video comes off Hagerty's 2026 bull market list, which is built from public and private sale results, historic trends, and insurance valuation data, not vibes. I am going to walk you through 7 of them, tell you what the actual numbers look like right now, and then show you the pattern connecting all of them, because the pattern matters more than the list. First, you need to understand what kind of market you are buying into, because it is a strange one. Hagerty's market rating opened 2026 at 58.28. That is the lowest that index has been in 15 years. Now most people hear that and assume the classic car market is dying. It is not. It is splitting. In the same month, that index hit a 15-year low. Mackem's Kissimmee sale in Florida did $445 million. That was a record, roughly double the previous year. Hagerty tracks something useful here. When a member asks to raise the insured value on their car, that is a real signal. For cars valued over $250,000, that ratio has gone up in 8 of the last 15 months. For cars under $250,000, it has gone up exactly once. The top of the market is running hard. The affordable middle is soft, and a soft middle is where you buy. Here is the trend underneath all of it. In 2020, the average model year of a car selling for over $1 million at auction was 1972. Today, that number is 1984. 6 of the top 10 sales this past year were cars built after 1990. The collector car is getting younger every single year, and that is not going to reverse. The reason is demographics. In Hagerty's own survey work, close to 60% of Gen Z respondents said they were interested in owning a collector car. Among baby boomers, that number was 31%. The buyers coming into this market did not grow up wanting a 1957 Bel Air. They grew up with Gran Turismo, Fast and Furious, and a poster of a skyline on the wall. Those are the cars they are going to spend money on, and they are just now hitting peak earning years. Alright, 7 cars. Let's go! Number 1. The C6 Corvette. And here's why it's going up. You cannot buy that anymore. Not from Chevrolet. Not from anybody. Everything that replaced it is supercharged, turbocharged, hybrid-assisted, or automatic only. The LS7 EA is closing, and when engine EA closes, the cars that carried it stop being used cars and start being artifacts. For under 60 grand, you are buying a car that will run with things costing 3 times as much. Number 2. The E60 BMW M5 2006 through 2010, averaging around $36,000. 5-liter S85 V10, 8250 redline. Engine architecture that traces directly back to BMW's Formula One program. It is the only V10s BMW has ever built, and given where the industry is going, it is the only one they ever will build. Now, I am going to be straight with you. This car is cheap for a reason. Rod bearings, throttle actuators, SMG pump failures. A neglected one will financially hurt you, but that is precisely the mechanism. The bad ones get parted out and disappear. The documented, sorted, properly maintained ones get rarer every year. Buy the maintenance file. The car comes attached to it. Number 3. The R33 Nissan Schooling GT or 1995 through 98. This one is on the list for a very specific structural reason. The 25-year import rule. These cars are now legally importable into the United States, and the American market is absorbing them. The 25-year rule is the most predictable price event in this entire hobby. It happens on a calendar. You can see it coming from a decade away. The moment a car becomes legal here, a market of 330 million people switches on at once, while the supply of clean, unmolested examples in Japan keeps shrinking. Every R33 that gets imported is one that is no longer available to import. That math only runs one direction. Number 4. The NB Mazda MX-5 Miata, 1999 through 2005. This is the accessible pick, and it is on the list for the least glamorous reason possible. It is simply the best cheap driving car ever mass-produced. Parts are everywhere. The end is do not die. You can store it in half a garage. Here's the catch that makes it work. Because these were cheap for 20 straight years, almost nobody preserved one. They got autocrossed, they got turbocharged in a driveway, they got rusted out in the Northeast, they got turned into track cars and abandoned. A clean, unmodified, rust-free and B with records is now genuinely hard to find, and the community around this car is enormous and permanent. Rare supply plus permanent demand is the whole formula. Number 5. The Mark III Volkswagen Golf GTI V06 1995-98. The VR6 is a narrow-angle 6-cylinder, 15 degrees between the banks, which let Volkswagen fit 6 cylinders into an engine bay designed for 4. It is a weird, specific, brilliant piece of engineering and it sounds like nothing else. This car, along with a handful of others, built the American import tuner scene in the 1990s. That cultural weight is a real asset. It is the same reason the E30, the 4th generation Supra, and the Integra Type R all ran up. The kids who wanted one at 17 and could not afford it are 45 now and they can. And almost every one of these got modified into the ground, so original survivors are scarce. Number 6, and this is the one people underrate, the 1990-93 Chevrolet 454 SS. 7.4-liter big block, regular cab, short bed, blacked out, and from the factory it only came in one color for the first year. This is the truck that invented the performance pickup as a category. Every performance truck built since traces back to this idea. The Lightning, the Cyclone, the SRT10, the Raptor, the TRX, and in the last decade, trucks and vintage SUVs have normalized as legitimate collector vehicles faster than any other segment in America. The 454 SS is the origin story of that whole category, and it is still cheap relative to the muscle cars it shares an engine family with. Number 7. The 1968-1970 Dodge Charger. And no, this is not a secret. That is the point. This shape has been in front of the public continuously for almost 60 years. What? The Dukes of Hazzard, the Fast and Furious franchise. 3 separate generations have each been introduced to this car through their own media. Not every pick has to be a hidden gem. Some cars belong on the list because they are the floor. The Charger is the reference point that the entire muscle car market gets priced against, and Hagerty has it appreciating again in 2026 after a flat stretch. If you want the safest exposure in American muscle, this is it. You are not going to outsmart anybody buying one. You are also not going to get hurt. 4 more that made the list and deserve a mention. The 1981-93 Dodge Ram Charger, which offers vintage SUV appeal at a fraction of what Broncos and Blazers now cost. The 1969-72 Alfa Romeo GTV, catching buyers who have been priced out of every other 1970s European sports car. The 56-57 Continental Mark II, from an era when American luxury was about craftsmanship instead of margin. And at the top, the Porsche Carrera GT, already over $1 million and widely expected to average around $2 million. Now the part that actually matters. Because a list of 7 cars is only useful until those 7 cars get expensive, the pattern is useful forever. Every car here shares 4 traits. What? A closed door, a naturally aspirated V10, a big block in a pickup, a manual transmission requirement, something that cannot be manufactured again at any price. Generational timing. The people who wanted this car as teenagers are now in peak earning years. If a car checks all 4 of those boxes, you do not need anyone's list. You already found it. If it checks fewer than 3, you are speculating, and you should be honest with yourself about that. So how do you actually buy one without getting wrecked? 5 rules. 1. Condition 2 is the target. That means clean and honest, not Concurs perfect. Concurs cars cost a huge premium, and that premium does not appreciate the same way. 2. Buy documentation. A thick folder of receipts is worth more than a fresh detail. 3. Original beats modified on appreciation almost every time, even when modified is more fun to drive. Decide which one you are actually here for. 4. Get a pre-purchase inspection from a specialist in that exact model, not a general shop, a specialist who has seen 50 of them. 5. Price in storage, insurance, and maintenance before you buy. A cheap car with a $4,000 service interval is not a cheap car. And I have to say the honest thing. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor and neither is anybody else making car videos. Cars are simultaneously a terrible investment and a great one. They cost money to store, insure, and maintain, and the market can go sideways for a decade. The only rule that has never failed anybody is this: buy a car you would be genuinely happy owning if the value never moved a single dollar. Then appreciation is a bonus instead of a bet. The next Civic C is out there right now. It is cheap, it is not on anybody's list yet, and somebody is about to sell theirs for what they owe on it. Tell me what you think it is in the comments. I read them, and the ones that come up over and over end up in a follow-up video. Follow 305 Redline. This is real car culture.